Hello everyone, I figured I'd do an interesting video about certain facts of Doom SnapMap. I'm basically going to call the title like 5 facts you didn't know about Doom SnapMap, something along the lines of that. And I think this video might be rather interesting for people who might have used Doom SnapMap for a long time, but probably don't realize about these facts. Okay, the first fact will be about the director of Doom SnapMap from Escalation Studios. Tom Mustaine might not be a name that will instantly ring a bell for most players, but if you're like me, who's a die-hard classic Doom fanatic, that name is very familiar. Tom was a prolific Doom mapper back in the 90s, and he also made some levels for the official classic Doom add-ons, including the Master levels and TNT Evolution. Memento Mori is also another big name for those who play a lot of classic Doom community map packs, but he is responsible to one of my all-time favorite megawads, Perdition's Gate. I'll show some footage of his maps just to give you an idea of how he makes his levels, but Tom was a prolific mapper for a reason, and I honestly think his mapping skills peaked with Perdition's Gate, and I highly recommend hardcore classic Doom fanatics to play this WOD. It's just crazy to think a prolific classic Doom mapper would eventually become the director for Doom SnapMap. I do recall Tom made some of the Spotlit snap maps. Some of those are the id Software levels that you play. He did make some of them. If you think about it, it's really cool to see someone who was an avid Doomer back in the 90s still keeping that passion alive when Doom 2016 was the latest for the series at that time. The next fun fact is about the Cacodemon AI. The Cacodemon AI has actually changed in one of the post-launch patches, and it was never revealed in the patch notes, but from what I remembered, it used to fly towards the player. Now it has the tendency to basically fly upwards, and this changed a lot of my maps. I loved using Cacodemons, and I had to go back and rebalance a lot of these fights due to these changes, but ever since this change happened, I have to use Cacodemons very carefully in heavily custom geo rooms. I have no idea why this change was made, but it was a change that never fit right for me because it basically made the Cacodemon not the greatest enemy to use when it comes to rooms that uses the grid room. From what I remembered, when it comes to the prefab modules, their AI does behave similarly before the patch. This fact might not be too interesting, especially for people who play a lot of Doom SnapMaps, but the weapon balance is different in this mode versus the campaign. A good example is the chain gun. Chain gun is very strong and is sort of designed to be like a mid/late game type of weapon in the campaign, but in SnapMap, it's really like the lower tier/early game type of weapon. Some people have varying opinions on this design choice, but I personally think it is cool that the SnapMap weapon balancing is a bit different compared to the campaign. Some of them are better, like the standard shotgun has much more consistent damage spread. The tactical zoom of the assault rifle is way better in SnapMap. The pistol is better in SnapMap, and so on. There are still some similarities of the weapon balancing between the two modes, like the super shotgun is still great in both campaign and SnapMap, same thing for Gauss Cannon or Rocket Launcher. Another fact that people probably don't know, especially if they're not Quake fans, one of the modules is actually a remake of Quake's DM4 The Bad Place. I will show you which module it is, but this module is actually a deathmatch map from Quake 1. I'm not sure why they decided to port this particular map to SnapMap, but it is a cool reference for die-hard id Software fans, and this module is a great one too. I've definitely used it a decent amount of times, and I have seen people done some cool stuff with it too. If you're wondering if it's the original map maker who done this work, the answer is no. The original mapper who made DM4 was American McGee, who was a former id Software employee and is also known for the Alice series. 1 year later, American McGee would try to create the third Alice game, but unfortunately it was cancelled. I assume one of the mappers who made this module was probably a Quake fan and just wanted to include it for nostalgia purposes. Finally, we are at the most craziest fact that I think most people in the Doom SnapMap community don't even realize, but John Carmack, yes, the John Carmack, was actually one of the contributors for Doom SnapMap. Keep in mind, Carmack did not work on Doom 2016. He worked it on Doom 4, which was supposed to be the next gen Doom for the Xbox 360/PS3 era. Doom 4 did have a SnapMap mode included, and I will leave the video in the description if you want to see the Doom 4 menu selection. And keep in mind, this is the 2012 version. It is unknown whether Doom 4's SnapMap was supposed to be similar to 2016's SnapMap, but let's just say that Doom 4 was supposed to have 3 separate modes that the player can play. Carmack has always been a supporter of allowing fans to create content within his games, so it shouldn't be that much of a surprise that Carmack worked on Doom SnapMap. What he actually did is very unknown, especially he was working on Doom 4 and not Doom 2016. Doom 4 would be the last project that Carmack worked for id Software before he left the company. That's really all I gotta share in this video. Like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see what to upload next since I've been running low on ideas.